Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday. I think it's the 20th of March 2026. It's about lunchtime. I don't normally run this time of the day, but circumstances being what they are, this one I can squeeze in and run. I'm going to talk in this video about accepting your achievements and being realistic about what you can achieve. I'll explain all that obviously as I go along. I've been watching a few running videos lately. I watch a lot, you know, you get a takeaway every now and again. You can incorporate into your own training something you can learn from somebody else. But I've been watching people who say, well, I want to run a sub or a 20-minute park run or something like that. They set themselves a goal and they set off obviously to achieve that. The bloke whose videos I'm watching at the moment, I think he said he turns 70 this September and he's hoping to do his 50th marathon. I think he's had a bit of a layoff, but he's been doing a lot of training, 100-kilometre weeks, and he's got a time, 3 hours and something, that he wants to set, or he wants to achieve for that run. He knows what he's got to do to get to that, and as I say, he's been following his training program and working towards it. But then he's had an injury flare up with a muscle in the artery of his foot. I can't remember the name of it. It's just, I'm not a doctor, it's probably not important, but it meant that he couldn't run. So he was doing hill repeats in a pretty steep hill on a bicycle. And that's fair enough, keeping his training up and so on. One of the things that's hard for us to accept is that we get older, and as you get older, things that were easy ones, now become much harder, and things that were little niggles that you could put up with now become more serious. And those little niggles that would right themselves with a couple of days of rest now become bigger niggles, and they take longer to right themselves, and there's nothing you can do except rest. A bit of inflammation of a muscle or something. There's no take this pill, it'll solve it kind of thing. Some exercises you can do in physiotherapy, but and remember, as I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm just reporting things this guy just said himself. There's really nothing you can do but just rest the injury. And as I said, the problem that might have taken a couple of days when you were younger now takes a few more days, or even a week or two. And of course, while you're waiting for that to heal itself, you can't run, and then your training spot behind. He's still got a bit of time where he can make up for the missed days before the event and the race that he's going in. Try and make his 50th marathon. So all things going well, he will make his 50th marathon. He will set the time that he wants to set, whether it's a new PB or just a time he's set in his head. I'm not sure, but everything going according to plan, he'll be able to do it. But what about if he isn't? What about if he doesn't do it? There's another bloke in the UK that I'm following a few of his videos at the moment, and he having some sort of problem around his knee. I'm not quite sure what it was, but like I said, I'm not a doctor, so it doesn't make any difference. And he'd been resting this injury and hoping that would come right. And some days it was okay, and other days not so good. Some days he'd run, and after the first K it'd be okay because he'd be warmed up, and he'd go okay. And of course he'd feel it when he cooled down. But he decided he would enter a running club's 10k event. Not a distance he hadn't done before. He was well familiar and comfortable with the distance, and the course was pretty flat. And he commented that early in the run that the first time he'd run a 10k, he'd done 54 or something or other. And now his time was 44 or 43 or something like that. So the first one was in the 1990s sometime. Obviously when he was a much younger fella, fitter and healthier and so forth. He was hoping to get close to the 44 time. So he ran this 10k and came in 53 something or other, which was better than his first time he ran a 10k, but not the time he expected, and not close to the time he now had as his PB. And so again, I would say this guy was probably in his mid-60s. Been running a long time and all that, but what I'm trying to make here is it's good to have goals. It's good to have a target time, target pace, whatever it is that you have for your running event. I think I have probably said this many times, that run like this, I just want to do a distance and say, well, I ran the course. And yes, the time, of course I look at the time and all the other stats, but I'm not running for a time or whatever. It's more my training. So For me, my racing, for want of a better word, in Saturday morning park run, I have 3 goals. I want to run in under 30 minutes. So far, I've been able to achieve that. Some of my times are getting into the 29 minutes and a bit. Sometimes I want to finish in the top half of the field, and if possible, the top third of the field. I usually manage the top half. I don't always manage the top third, and I want to reach the 2k mark before the first runner is on their way back. I don't always achieve that one either. Sometimes I achieve all 3, sometimes 2 out of 3, sometimes 1 out of 3, which is under the 30 minutes. But at the end of the run, looked at my watch, looked at all the stats, looked at my placing token, finish token, worked out how many there needed to be for me to finish in the top half, worked out how many there need to be for me to finish in the top third, and then gone home, had a shower, had breakfast, and got on with the day. And when the email comes with results, I look at it and I see which of the goals I've achieved. That gives me a temporary boost. Which ones I didn't achieve, I might be miserable for a little while, and then I just move on. So the point I'm trying to make here is not, oh well, I'm old now, I give up, I'll just do whatever I can. Of course, when you go out to run, have goals, have plans, have a pace you want to set, have a distance you want to run, have a time you want to run it in, whatever it is that motivates you. But if you're like me, soon to be 73 years old, you have to accept the body's slowing down. Everything doesn't work the way it did even when you were 60. Because that's just the nature of life. And what I'm suggesting is take what you've done that day, take that achievement and say, I did this day the best I could do. I ran the best run I could. I set the best pace my body would let me set at that day. And be grateful and happy for that, because you're in a position where you can still do those things. You can still run, you can still complete the 5k or whatever it is that you're in, whereas you'll know a lot of your friends, they can't do those things anymore. They've had hip replacements, knee replacements, the heart issues, just general joint issues, just things that come with being older, and the whole process is more difficult for them. So the takeaway is, do your training, whatever that is, train for whatever event you're training for, and put in your best efforts. Remember that the recovery is going to take longer now because you're older, and at some point you ignore that recovery and say, well, I'm just going to run tomorrow and the next day, whatever. It'll catch up with you, and you'll find that you're just not running the way you want that day. So do the best you can, set your goals, work towards them, run as hard as you can, but be grateful for what you've achieved. Don't compare yourself with anybody else, not even someone the same age as you, because they're a different person. They have a different level of fitness. They have a different commitment to this than you do. Everything's different. Just do your run, do the best you can, be grateful for what you've done, and celebrate that, and then do the next run and try to improve. But remember, only two things you're working with are yourself and the clock. You don't need to worry about what anyone else is doing, but any other run ahead achieved. You just have to look at what are my goals here, what am I trying to do. Those are my thoughts on running and getting older. If you have a comment, something you'd like to say, you know where to leave it. When I become aware of it, I'll respond to it. As I always say these days, comment on the content. If you've got some advice about my running that you think might help improve my running, I'm open to listening to that, of course. And I'll see you, catch you when I'm making the next running video, whenever that will be. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your running. And I'll catch you again